Hi, good morning. Welcome back to my channel Back to School. Today's topic is about biodiversity. What is biodiversity? Here the term bio means life, whereas diversity means variety. The term biodiversity explains about the variety of all life forms on earth. It is identified as the variability among living organisms and the ecological complexes of which they are part, including diversity within and between species and ecosystem. In simple words, it is variability between genes, species, and ecosystems. The term biodiversity was coined by Walter and Rosen in 1985. There are three types of biodiversity: diversity of species, diversity of ecosystem, diversity of genes. Species diversity. It is defined as variety of different species of living forms in a given area. For example, roses. It's a species. Tamarindus indica. It's a species. Ajadracta indica. It's another species. So, there are so many species in India. There are up to 2 lakh species in India. The species diversity peaks in the tropical forest and coral reefs. Malaysia is having highest species diversity. Genetic diversity. It is defined as variation at the level of individual genes. The heritable variation within and between populations of organisms. That is, genetic diversity is due to the heritable genes. The more genetic diverse in a population, the more chances in variations. These variations help the individuals to have a variant that helps it to be suited for the new environment. Ecosystem or habitat diversity. Ecosystem is the structural and functional unit of the biosphere. Ecosystem diversity is defined as the aggregation of various habitats, community types, and abiotic environment in a given area. India has one of the richest ecosystem diversity, ranging from deserts, plains, hills, mangroves, rainforests to cold Himalayas. Distribution of biodiversity. Flora and fauna diversity depends on climate, altitude, soils, presence of other species. Most of the diversity concentrated in tropical region. Biodiversity hotspots are the regions with high biodiversity, with most of the species being endemic. Endemic means concentrated at a particular area. India have two biodiversity hotspots: East Himalayan region and Western Ghat. Here in this picture you can observe the 10 biography regions of India. The hotspots are the areas with higher concentration of endemic species and which actually experience rapid rate of habitat modifications and loss. Out of the 18 hotspots of biodiversity recognized in the world, India has two of them: Eastern Himalaya and the Western Ghats. Eastern Himalaya is recognized as the cradle of speciation due to rich diversity of primitive flowering plants. Western Ghats. Western Ghats have thick forests that we can observe in the southern western region of the Indian map up to Sri Lanka. It is impacted by demands for the agriculture and timber. Kerala is one of the Western Ghat region. This region is home to rich endemic plants, reptiles, amphibians, as well as elephants, tiger, and macaque, which is endangered. Himalayas is home to world's highest mountains, including Mount Everest. This Himalayan region is with thick forest having diversity of ecosystems that range from alluvial grasslands and subtropical broad-leaved forests to alpine meadows. It is home to a variety of large birds, mammals, including tiger, elephants, rhinos, and wild water buffaloes. This picture, which is from the Himalayan region, located in the Uttarakhand, it is the Valley of Flowers. Threats to biodiversity, habitat destruction. So, habitat destruction leads to extinction of the species. It is important to protect the habitat in order to protect the biodiversity. Huge pressure from the world's rapidly increasing population has been causing the habitat destruction. Global climate change. The earth has been every year showing the increase in the temperature. So it is causing the greenhouse effect and it leads to the extinction of the species. Habitat fragmentation. Due to human activity, it leads to the destruction of the habitat and the extinction of the species. Pollution. Introduction of pollutants such as nutrient overloading, such as ammonia, urea, they are the nitrate fertilizers, as well as more harmful chemicals leads to the danger to the biodiversity. Overexploitation. This includes the illegal wildlife trade as well as overfishing, logging of tropical hardwoods. Alien species. It is introduced by humans to regions where there are no natural predators to damage the local species. Disease. Reduction in habitat causing high population densities encourages spread of diseases. Habitat loss can be described when an animal loses its home. Every animal in the animal kingdoms has a niche, and without their habitat they no longer have a niche. Reasons of habitat loss by humans: agriculture, farming, harvesting of natural resources for personal use, for industrial and urbanization development. Habitat destruction is currently ranked as the primary cause of species extinction worldwide. Example: the impact upon China's panda, once found across the nation. Now it's only found in fragmented and isolated regions in the southwest of the country as a result of widespread deforestation in the 20th century. There are natural causes too. Habitat destruction through natural processes such as volcanism, fire, and climate change is well documented in the fossil record. One study shows that fragmentation of tropical rainforest in Euro 3000 million years ago led to a great loss of amphibian diversity. This picture shows the different climatic conditions such as the fire, overflooding of the water, changes in the weather condition, leading to the extinction of the species, causing the destruction of the natural ecosystems. Solutions for this is the protecting remaining intact section of natural habitat, reducing the human population and expansion of urbanization and industries, educating the people about the importance of natural habitat and biodiversity. Solutions to habitat loss can include planting trees, planting home gardens to reduce need for human to need large lands for agriculture farms which lead to habitat loss. Poaching. It is nothing but the killing or capturing of wildlife, either the plants or the animals, illegally through hunting, harvesting, fishing, or trapping. History of poaching. Millions of years ago, in the Stone Age, this poaching has been started. It is followed through the ages to even the tribal natives. But it was during the late Middle Ages that poaching became a punishable offense. Here in this picture, you can observe the poaching of the different animals such as elephants for their husk, tigers for their skin, antelopes for their head. Poaching is not limited to animals, it's also for plants too. In this picture, you can observe the red sanders from the Sheshachala hill forest of the southern India, especially Chittoor, Kadapa, Anantapur and Nellore districts. This red sanders has been cutting in huge amount. Then black coach, ginseng. Naturally, this black coach is used for depression, menopause and rheumatism treatment, whereas ginseng is used for brain improvement. These also have been in high extinction region. These species are in extinction due to the high poaching. How does poaching affect the environment? Poaching or illegal hunting causes animals endangered of being extinct. If more animals becomes extinct, there is a disruption in the food chain and that will cause major problems in our ecosystem, resulting eventually in new adaptation of animals and our species beyond human control. Poaching results in animals being hunted too soon for them to have time to reproduce and repopulate. Man-wildlife conflict. Increase in man-wildlife conflict is due to resource limitation like space, food and shelter. It is also due to increasing population of human beings, loss of forest, decrease in quality of forest and developmental activities. Crops like sugarcane and tea estates are reported to provide excellent cover for wild animals. There are 661 protected areas in the country covering around 4.8% geographical areas. There are 100 national parks, 514 wildlife sanctuaries, 43 conservation reserves and 4 community reserves in the country. In India, wild elephants probably kill far more people than tiger, leopard and lion. Damage to agriculture crops and property, killing of livestock and human beings are some of the worst forms of human-animal conflict. Farmers sometimes poison and shoot wild animals as they damage their crops, but this can be prevented by taking certain measures. Ways to reduce the conflicts. Governments is working on improvement of habitat to provide the food and water availability to the wild animals and to reduce movement of animals from the forest to the habitations. Training forest staff and police to tackle these situations and creating awareness among the people about the do's and don'ts to minimize conflicts. Construction of boundary walls and solar fences around the sensitive areas to prevent the wild animal attacks. Some devices of information technology, such as radio collars with very high frequency, global positioning system, and satellite uplink facilities, can be used to track the movements of wild animals. Endangered species. These are the species whose members are critically low and their habitat is so drastically reduced that they are in danger of extinction. At present, approximately 81 species of mammal, 38 species of birds, 18 species of amphibians and reptiles are considered endangered in India. The Indian Plant Red Data Book symbolizes a warning signal for those species which are endangered and have to be protected. Otherwise, they are likely to become extinct in the near future. This book gets published every year. This picture shows the endangered species such as the lion, tiger, cheetah, loris, Rauwolfia serpentina, Nepenthes, great Indian bustard, green turtle, critically endangered mammals such as Namdafa, flying squirrel, Salimalis fruit bat, Rotten's free-tailed bat, pygmy hog, Malabar large spotted civet, Sumatran rhinoceros, Barasinga, four-horned antelope, black buck, Assamese macaque, Indian giant squirrel, Ganges river dolphin. Endemic species. These are the species found only in a particular geographical region because of its isolation, soil, and climatic conditions, such as Asiatic elephant, Asiatic black bear, gore, Nilgiri thor, Himalayan thor, wild goat, lion-tailed macaque, Nilgiri leaf monkey, leaf-nosed bat, Asiatic wild ass, Indian rhinoceros, slow loris. Importance of biodiversity. Generation of soils and maintenance of soil quality, maintenance of air quality, maintenance of water quality, pest control, detoxification and decomposition of waste, pollination and crop production, climate stabilization, prevention and mitigation of natural disasters, provision of food security. Benefits of biodiversity. Benefits of biodiversity. There are consumptive value, non-consumptive value, ecological services. For food, drink, fuel, medicine, better crop varieties, industrial material. Whereas recreation, education and research, traditional value are the non-conjunctive. Balance of nature, biological productivity, regulation of climate, degradation of waste, cleaning of air and water, cycling of nutrients, control of potential pest and disease causing species, detoxification of soil and sediments, stabilization of land against erosion, carbon sequestration and global climate change, maintenance of soil fertility. Benefits of biodiversity. Biodiversity is known for its multiple benefits. The three main benefits are economic benefits, ecological benefits, ethical benefits. Economic benefits include food. All our food comes from the plants and animals. About 80,000 plant species are potential food sources. Agriculture. The genetic diversity of wild plants are used to produce better strains of crops with superior yields. Medicine. Medicinal plants, are of great demand in modern pharmaceutical industry because today's synthetic drugs owe their origin to plants. Industry. The wood from plants is being used in industries for clothing, shelter, for fuel, as raw material for paper, rayon, plastic, for construction purpose. The modern green revolution, the farmers began to lose their traditional systems of sustainable agriculture. However, the Beej Bachao Andolan has helped to revive the traditional farming methods. Lesser known plants and animals of food value. There are more than 10,000 varieties of cereals, but humans have concentrated only on four, namely rice, wheat, corn, and jowar. Examples of some are listed in the next slide. Buckwheat. It is a pseudo cereal cultivated in hilly regions of South India and Himalayan range. The grains are rich in protein and carbohydrates. The leaves are also used as vegetable. The flowers produce nectar, which is used to extract honey. Amaranthus is a pseudo cereal grown in southern Indian plains and Himalayan region. The grains are rich in protein, fat, and carbohydrate. It is a vegetable. Quinopod is an important crop of Himalayan region, and grains are edible and rich source of proteins and carbohydrate. The grains are also used for alcohol preparation. Spirulina is blue-green algae. Entire alga is used. It contains nearly 60% proteins and is considered a cheapest source of proteins. It also contains vitamins and minerals. 1 gram of spirulina is equivalent to 1 kg of assorted food. This picture shows buckwheat, amaranthus, chenopodium, and spirulina. Field rats. Certain tribal people in southern India use the rats as meat as they are very nutritive. Field rats cause extensive damage to crops. Using smoke, rats are captured from rat holes in crop fields. This also helps in controlling the rat population. Wild rabbits are hunted by tribals of southern India using dogs. The meat of wild rabbit is considered as delicacy. Bats are also consumed by tribals. Bat meat is highly nutritious. Snakes are eaten by tribal people of Assam, Nagaland, and Manipur. Snake meat is rich in proteins. Pigeons are eaten by many tribals. The meat is rich in protein and vitamins. The meat and blood of animal has medicinal significance. Picture shows field rats, wild rabbits, bats, snakes, and pigeons. Medicinal plants. Aloe vera belonging to family Liliaceae. The fleshy leaves are used. Aloin extracted. It is used in piles treatment and cosmetic formulation. Catharanthus rosea, vinca. It belongs to the family Apocynaceae. From this plant, nearly 70 alkaloids are isolated. The two important alkaloids are vinblastin and vincristin. Vinblastin is used in the treatment of Hodgkin's disease. Vincristin is cytotoxic agent and is used in treatment of leukemia. Here, Hodgkin's disease related to cancer of part of the immune system called the lymphatic system, whereas leukemia is nothing but the blood cancer. Ravilfia serpentina, also known as Sarpagandha. It belongs to the family Apocynaceae. All parts of plants are used. Main alkaloids are serpentine and reserpine are extracted. It is used as a hypotensive agent and tranquilizer. Used in the treatment of epilepsy, schizophrenia, heart problems and high BP. Picture shows the aloe vera, vinca, Ravelfia serpentina, that is Sarpagandha, Nannari plant and Vamu Aku. Datura, it belongs to the family Solanaceae. The stem, roots and leaves along with the fruit are used. Alkaloids like hyoscyamine and hyoscine are extracted. Used in the treatment of bronchitis and asthma as antispasmodic and sedative. Vitania somnifera, ashwagandha, it belongs to the family Solanaceae. The dried roots and stem base are used. It is used in the treatment of insomnia, asthma, bronchitis, tuberculosis, arthritis and cancer. Picture shows Datura and Vitania somnifera, also known as ashwagandha. Ecological and social benefits. Biodiversity is important for maintenance and sustainable utilization of goods and services from ecological systems. The services include formation and protection of soil, conservation and purification of water, maintenance of hydrological cycle, etc. Forest vegetation provides natural protection to soil as soil binds the soil particles to prevent soil erosion and also slows down water flow to downstream areas. The pores and cracks found in between soil particles act as natural filters, purifying water as it drips through the forest ecosystem. This not only helps protection and conservation of fertile topsoil but also maintains groundwater. Plants absorb water from soil or water reservoirs and add it to the air as vapor by transpiration. Animals and plants also lose water in vapor form by respiration. Water vapor formed by transpiration and respiration form clouds and enter global water cycle known as hydrological cycle. Soil microbes, also known as decomposers, and soil animals like earthworms help in efficient breakdown of organic matter into inorganic nutrients, thus enriching the soil fertility. Ethical, cultural, spiritual and religious belief systems. Throughout the human history, people have related the very existence of human race to biodiversity through cultural, spiritual and religious beliefs. Many plants, animals, forests, landscapes and rivers are considered as sacred and worshipped by the people. Today these have become cultural heritage. These beliefs have played an effective role in conservation of many species of plants and animals, especially preservation of many endemic and rare species. Sacred species, traditionally conserved plant and animal species of religious and cultural importance are called sacred species. Example, plants like tulasi, neem, ashoka tree and peepal tree. Animals like cow, monkey and cobra. Here in this picture, you can observe the Silatoranam in Tirumala, a very rare picture. Endangered spider in Tirumala hills of Sheshachalam forest. Indian giant squirrel that you can observe in the Sheshachalam forest. Endangered species of Eastern Ghats, that is the peacock. Kiwit cat, also known as Punugupilli. Yellow-throated bulbul, red sanders tree, Kalivi Kodi, Pompadour green pigeon. Why conserve biodiversity? Why to conserve biodiversity? Biological diversity affects us all. It has direct relation to food, agriculture, medicine and industry. It has aesthetic and recreational value. It maintains the ecological balance, continues the evolutionary process. It provides indirect ecosystem services like chemical cycling, soil management, climate regulation, water system management, waste treatment and pest control. In situ and ex situ conservation. Conservation can broadly be divided into two types. In situ conservation of habitats, species and ecosystems are conserved where they naturally occur. This is in situ conservation. And the natural processes and interactions are conserved as well as the elements of biodiversity. Whereas in ex situ conservation, the conservation of elements of biodiversity out of the natural habitat referred as ex situ conservation, such as zoos, botanical gardens and seed banks. In situ conservation is not always possible as habitats may have been degraded and there may be competition for land, which means species need to be removed from the area to save them. This picture shows the Chipko movement to protect the forest. The fighting of the women. So please conserve the nature. Nature holds the key to our aesthetic, intellectual, cognitive and even spiritual satisfaction. Thank you. Please subscribe to my channel.